I started music from around 7 years old, and I think the beginning stages was in the church. So a lot of gospel music. Like my mum is a big gospel fan, and she sings as well. So every Sunday, the pastor at the church I'd be really small at that point, would sit next to me and he would play, and I would kind of watch his fingers, like didn't know what's going on, but I was watching and trying to observe. And over time, he'd let me go, and after church, he'd show me a few things. And I think at that point, he realized I had some sort of gift, I guess, because I was learning quite quickly at that age. The music I was playing, there's no sheet music. I mean, it's much like it's helped me how I approach jazz now, but there was no sheet music. So it was very much, singers could be singing, they could be in tune, it could be out of tune. It was my job to find the correct chords to match. So doing that from like 8 years old really strengthened my ear. At 10 years old, I was watching BBC 4, and there was this amazing piano player just playing all this stuff, and it was blowing my mind. I was in awe. And I didn't know who it was at the time, but then about a year later, I found out it was Oscar Peterson. I think he's a piano god. I mean, he's definitely top 5 piano players to live ever. So he was the person who got me into jazz. I went to this summer course, and they had this little talent show thing in Hackney, and I was like, let me play some piano. At that point, I didn't know what I was playing, but later on, I was told it was a blues. I won the competition, and the prize was I could get some jazz piano lessons. I had my first jazz piano lesson, I think, in year 6 from a piano teacher called Chris Wilson. And he moved to me, and he followed me to when I went to a secondary school, so Mossbourne Community Academy. A teacher called Sarah Denton was an amazing teacher and so encouraging. She saw that as this young 11-year-old boy who couldn't do anything but play piano. I didn't care about anything else, and she said, I needed to realize that I also needed some help, especially financially, with the lessons, so I could have lessons at the school. So I think through her, she contacted AIM, and they were able to fund my lessons from like year 7 up to year 11, I think. So I'm from Hackney, so there's a group called Hackney Creative Jazz Ensemble. I was there from around year 8 to year 11. And it was an amazing experience because that was the first time I realized I'm not alone. I thought I was that weird guy, geeky guy who's into jazz at such a young age, and none of my friends listened to jazz. I mean, that was the last thing on their mind, football and rap music and stuff. And I still love that stuff, but I was firmly obsessed with this thing called jazz. So when I went to the youth jazz thing, I was really surprised. I was like, okay, there's other people like me, they exist, I'm not alone. And that was an amazing thing to find out. And then also I got introduced to another youth jazz group, and it was Julian Joseph Jazz Ensemble. And going there was a level up, because it was just full of British legends, and it was like I was just happy to be there and to learn from them. Around year 13, we had to decide what we wanted to do for university, and I did biology, but I knew I wasn't going to do that for university, and I was doing psychology, and I wasn't going to do that. So I was like, I think everyone always knew what I was going to pick anyway. So I went and decided to audition for some conservatoires, and I got into Trinity, which was amazing. And so I made so much friends being here the last 4 years. Great question. I think for me, I always get nervous, but it's always before I get to the piano. Like once I'm at the piano, I'm like, I'm here, or there's nothing else I can do. So you want to be able to kind of always narrow down your thought process, or be able to focus. So for my thing is, especially in jazz music, which is improvised, and it relies on me having to have a clear mind to be able to react really quickly. I just try and really focus on what I'm actually hearing from the musicians. Because if you really focus on the music, everything else is there, but that becomes more of a blur. You're more like focused on creating something. In jazz or any music, there's like a songbook, you'd say, like of common songs that people know. So in folk, there may be some songs. In rock, there's some common. So in jazz, they have the Great American Songbook, which is comprised of a lot of songs from musical theatres, so around songs at the time. So Broadway and the popular hits of that time, a lot of jazz musicians would play, and they would become well known and become like standard repertoire. Yeah, I'd say the first thing is just listen. I mean, listen, find something that you like. It doesn't necessarily have to be something you understand, but something that just your ear is drawn to. And from there, I think it will naturally happen, because once the jazz bug bites you, like, it's over from there. But I think finding something you like, you will naturally, be drawn to learning more about it.